Yay, we are live. And let's record this here as well. Perfect. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. Everybody, welcome to this sixth episode of Sacred Divine Union Raw and Real interview series with our beloved Ariette and Rob. So much love, so much love. Welcoming both of you to our beautiful show and the last show of 2020. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here together with you, really. And it's so great to meet you again, Honi, after almost 4 years.
Exactly. And 4 years ago, when Ariette and I met in Miami at Claudia's house, we spoke about my beloved.
Yes,
4.5 years ago, calling him in. Remember? So we were speaking quite a bit about that.
Right before I met you.
Yes.
It was right before I met you.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And boom.
And she described you almost into detail.
Wow.
Because remember, I said he has to be delicious, right? Like, remember, he has to have the Christ deliciousness. I can't, I will not do this, you know?
I feel I'm blushing right now. I'm blushing in the nature of it.
So this is our taking off of tonight.
Exactly. And then I started seeing you. What was it, like not too long ago, a while ago, then I started seeing both of your pictures, like boom, coming together, and the planetary work, all these different places. And of course, both of you, just like we receive how much you look alike. I'm sure everybody tells you that all the time. Oh, you kind of look like brothers and sisters, right? You receive that as well.
We're twins.
Exactly.
You see the beautiful eyes. Like when I see both of your eyes, it has such power.
Yeah.
And such power and grace and beauty that I see. And obviously being, Rob, the beautiful, handsome man,
delicious,
Ariette, a beautiful like it brings the beauty and accentuates them. So it's always a gift when the divine brings in the beauty and the nature for all of us to enjoy.
Oh, embrace and enjoy.
And I see it in you too as well. Yes.
Thank you.
Although you're from different countries, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like I don't even feel like I'm from America half the time. I mean, I was born here, but my ancestry is from Eastern Europe, Russia, in that area. And so, but it's funny because when we talk about where we're from, we go back to like ages and ages and ages because it doesn't feel like
we don't feel connected to the earth so much. It's mostly the galactic realm and the different galactic regions where we connect more. Like him and I connect so much with the Syrians and Lyrans, and of course then Arcturians. Like those three is constantly much more of a resonance for us than the earth plane, and of course plus more, as I'm sure yours is. But you're both from Netherlands in this incarnation, at least.
Yes. Yeah. Both born here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into this. So you both enter this dimensional plane through the portal of Netherlands, and then boom, somehow you cross paths. Tell us a little bit about when you first initially crossed paths and you met, those sacred eyes met each other. What happened? Please.
That was it. That was it,
basically.
It were the eyes, really.
Yeah.
Really. It was an evening when almost 13 years ago now. Yeah. And a friend of mine was at my place and she urged me to come drink a beer. Yeah. And I said, I don't wanna. I've had that, I don't want to. But she was really pushing me. So then I went with her. And it was divinely orchestrated. And then at a certain moment, I came into a bar, which I've never been in before. I opened the door, and then at the other side of the room, there was him. And it was like instantly connected, eye to eye.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah. And what about you, Rob? What was yours? How did you?
I was not living in the city where I was at that moment. I was just staying there for a few weeks because I recently decided that I wanted to divorce from my first wife. Okay. So I left my home, so to say, and I was in a kind of a holiday park where it was easy to stay for that moment. Mm-hmm. And then a friend of mine, he came and he said, "Yeah, let's go." And we did some sports in the afternoon, and then we went for a drink. But it was the Saturday after a big festival, a party weekend here in Holland. So it was very quiet because everybody was broke or still drunk or whatever, but it was very quiet in the city. So there was only one bar which was open.
Wow.
And the bar were normally very young people. Our daughters go there now, you know.
Okay. Your daughters go there. That's so cute.
They go there. It's when you just start going out, like 17, 18, something like that, and then you go there in that bar. And then we both ended up there, and I ended up there, and I was a little bit in the back of the bar, as she described, and she came in, and I saw her, and I said, "Oh my God!" And it was just bang, bang.
Wow, you two just got blasted right away. I said you two got blasted right away by the sacred light. Wow.
I had a lot of resistance because I was not looking for somebody else. I just came out of out of a marriage, and I was still planning to divorce. So actually, I was not looking any contact with a new woman or get involved or whatsoever. But this was so strong.
Yeah.
So from that, we came into another. But my first thought, it's really funny because my first feeling was, what a beautiful witch.
Wow, interesting.
And which in the most positive way, you know, you can use it as a very negative based word, but I meant it in the most positive way. But
that's amazing. That was your very first thought. Wow.
What an amazing witch.
Wow.
And I could never have dreamed that I'm now married with the most beautiful witch.
The most delicious one.
And it was exactly to the point, you know. She's still amazing. She's still beautiful, and she's still a witch, even more witch than I could have guessed at that moment. But and still in the most positive way. So
wow,
that's funny. Yeah.
And okay, what was your first initial thought, like just in that moment when your sparkling eyes met each other? What was the first thought that came into you?
It was very short. This is him.
Wow. Wow. So I got chills.
This is him. It was, I just knew, but it was very strong. It was just.
Yeah.
And it was very young adult because the funny thing is the friend that was with me, he had to go to her girlfriend.
Oh.
Me, you know, because we were not going towards each other. So
I was so shy.
And then I had to it was like we're 16 or 17 or something like that.
Yeah, but he didn't really want to get to know me. Well, he wanted to, but he didn't want to because it would, complicate things.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So we asked that, and I would have Michael go to his questions.
Well, I just want to continue. It's interesting how I feel it's very powerful that our guides, our spirits bring us together.
Yes.
Because when Honi and I, when we met, it was like two stars passing by. Like literally, I was coming back from Bali on my way to Mexico. Honi was finishing up. She was going on the East Coast tour, but she was in the midst of her travels.
I had just come back from the Europe tour.
And I met a friend of hers that literally, I lost the business card to the event that she was inviting me to of Honi's Galactic Shamanic Sound Vibration class. And she gave me the business card to, call her to make the arrangement. I lost it. And then she emailed me again saying, I never heard back from you. So somehow I find the spirits, the friends, the energies are in a very divine nature to bring you together. Because Rob, I was in a position that I was coming out of a relationship And well, a short term, I was in Bali and I was coming out and I wasn't looking for anything. I was literally just in a phase of probably the greatest transition of my life. My business closing down in Mexico, or choosing to close down in Mexico before meeting Honi, and also in a time where my dad was just transitioning. So it's always like in those moments where life is like, it's an open door and there's so many variables that are happening. Yeah. And it's magic how the pieces come together in its most auspicious form. So,
and I had married God. I said, I'm done with men. Like I knew it was coming, but I was like, I shut the door totally. So we always love, we ask this because many that are coming into the union, they have this, like, often the interviews we've done with others that we meet, there's this thing, it's like so instant and it's undeniable. You can't escape it. It's like a starburst. Already the second you meet, it's that star has bursted, and then the journey begins.
Oh yeah.
So we're about to get into the journey now.
and what I appreciate about the journey is I appreciate that our divine partners offer us gifts.
Yeah.
I feel that it is one of the biggest gifts that I feel that the universe has brought back. And you know, when I ask this question, I ask you just to feel into your heart. So sometimes we think, because there could be so many answers, but whatever you feel, whatever comes first to you, but what is the one thing that your divine partner helps see about yourself? What is the gift that they help give you, that insight that you may have not seen about yourself, but has been given that opportunity for you, dear beloved ones?
It's really hard that you ask me to just pick one thing.
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I want to honor your question.
If you want to give more than one,
bear in mind, I'm not doing his gifts right or justice when I just pick one thing. But what he has brought back into my life, I've been a single mom for almost 6 years. And it wasn't easy because I was a full-time single mom, 24/7 for the past few years. And he brought back a lot of lightness, because he has this lightness of being in his energy field and also in my daughter's life. So, and he was just, he was there for us. Yeah, and still is, you know. It's
thank you. And I know, Ariette, if you want to share others,
please
do. I don't want to make it a one thing. If there's anything in your heart that wants to come out afterwards, because we're in a stage where we can let go of the absolutes, the things that, there's the question, but if there's any more beauty that wants to come out of the gifts, feel free to share, because I want to be as open and flexible as possible.
Well, I will start crying. Yeah. He is a natural father. He embodies fatherhood in a most beautiful way. And I will always honor him for that. And he has been a true gift for me and for my daughters. And we really feel that because of that, they're our daughters. You know, we raised them together since we've been together.
Wow.
That's so precious, you know. That's, yeah. So
Thank you.
Fully heart that. So heart that.
And I ask that same thing for you, Rob, when you know, the one thing or many things or two things that your divine partner helps see about yourself. What gift has that been that has been brought into your sacred life, brother?
I guess I picked the one who is the most recent one, because I experienced the most value of that at this moment. And that is while developing into a better person, she is always presenting me a mirror full of love. And that mirror sometimes is difficult to look into, but it has so much love in it that even when I look into that mirror and see my dark sides or my the things I do not want to see, I start to feel a little bit more comfortable with looking at those things that she is presenting me in that mirror. She's doing that with a lot of love, and that is giving me the opportunity to develop even more and to also acknowledge and accept that these dark sides are there. And that is something that I, for a very, very, very long time, tried to avoid. And every time when somebody was presenting me a mirror, then I was just pushing it away. And now the last year, maybe, she's helping me out with a lot of things on that, because I think it is a mirror of love, and that was always very difficult for me to understand. And she was not keeping that mirror away from me, so she was very persistent in showing me the mirror and looking.
I know that very well, Rob.
Yeah. I think
we wear the mirror. We wear the mirror.
I think in general, and in general, women are much more honest than men in a lot of cases, especially when it comes to reflect on your own things. You know, especially I as a man was always, yeah, I did something wrong, but 90% is okay, so don't go into the 10%, you know?
I have every excuse, Rob. Every excuse I've said. She's like, no more excuses.
No more.
I can't use any. No more. I can't say anything because she knows every excuse possible. So like, you know, I don't mean to say it, but she captures them because she's like an eagle eye. And sometimes I let them go, but I can't because the direct nature of accountability, and really what I find, which is a gift, Ariette, is that gift is holding that responsibility within ourselves, because it's helping expand. And I see the sacred feminine, you know, holding that higher consciousness to help the masculine for us to see greater, because sometimes our mind can be very limited in that energies at times, and with the open heart it helps bring forth that beautiful nature. So thank you.
And another thing I want to mention is what I see that Ariette is doing is she is dreaming her life and living her dream, and that is amazing. She's just so focused on what she wants to do, and she's not afraid of dreaming and making it big. And at the same time, I see that she is able to live that dream and dream that life and everything. And what she has done, I really think, up until now, and the way she is motivating and inspiring people, that is something I just have to have a lot of respect for. So that's something that I
love. Thank you for that. Honestly, that's why we love this. Just raw and real, like it just is in that expression of it. So I wanted to, going into that. So if I were to ask you, of course, in the journey with a sacred divine union, there tremendous amount that we agree to experience so that the sacred flame has the opportunity to be put into motion, put into use for the greatest and highest purpose. And within that, we've also agreed for very, very difficult situations to personally encounter, and then the union encounter. so that we can then be a witness to the capacity or the strength of the union. So, having said that, within your sacred union, if I were to ask you of probably one or two of the most difficult encounters you've had to face, how would you say this sacred flame between you gave you the opportunity or the gift to move through the situation or encounter?
Shall I?
Shall I?
Well, if I go back to one of the really most difficult, again, I could cry. We separated 3 years ago for a short amount of time. And I knew I got all these signs that it had to be this way. But my heart was broken. But still, the divine, and for me, it's mostly the goddess. It was, you know, it was about trust, having faith, deepening faith. It was for the greater good. And I didn't know why. I knew I wouldn't get an answer. I just had to trust, which I did. I didn't long for an answer, but still it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking for me, for the girls, for Rob. And then talking about the sacred flame, that was it. It was about deepening trust and deepening that inner knowing that all is in divine order, really. And then after a few weeks, I realized we shouldn't be apart, you know, but then getting back together, that was a human thing. Anyway, with difficulties. I guess for me, that was the most challenging part of our journey.
And your flame allowed you to go through it, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we see. Thank you. And Rob,
because I have to add, because when we came back together, it was clear why it had to happen, why it needed to happen. Because in the meantime, and even when we got back together, certain fields just fell away, and we hadn't been able to manage that beforehand. So it was a choosing on a different level.
Correct.
I think that's, what a beautiful question. Gosh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Rob, what would you say to that same question?
Yeah, also my challenge is, especially in that time frame that was just discussed, although what I noticed that I realized that much later, I think months and months later, after we got back again, then we got back together again, we had a discussion about it, or a conversation about it, and then Ariette told me again about what happened exactly in that period of separation. And what I just recently, because the period of separation is 4 years ago, something like that, or
I think
3 or 4,
yeah.
whatever. And I just recently realized that in that period, that before that period, I was always talking about, I feel the more female energy but the feminine energy. But at that moment, I was thrown back in a behavior which was very masculine, because I was separating, I was guiding my own borders, I was taking care of my own possessions, of my own, where do I live, which part of the money is mine, and I was just pushed back in a very masculine energy into that. And much later, after we got back together again, and I guess that was a very important period for me while we had discussions about it. Then I realized how much I got back into old behavior and how much hurt that caused to Ariette and to the children and such kind of things. So that was, I think that was a period where I realized what I had done and that and what I did in that moment. So that was a very difficult period for me, and that was something which was painful to be aware of and got aware of.
Your sacred flame.
And the sacred flame gave you the opportunity to then move through it. Because you have to see the sacred flame is going to make you see the shadow so deeply to then give you the power to move through it. Well, thank you for that honesty. Because again, like with some of these questions we ask, because it's no picnic ride in the park. If you agree to come to this kind of union, yes, there's massive magic. There's pure hell that you got to go through as well. And then come on the other side of it, then meet the heavenly realm again, and then come back in it. And there's this, we find there's this third energy. There's this, like literally this flame that's our baby. And it's this baby, but this baby is this supreme light. We recognize it as the Christ light that gives us the power and the fuel to move through anything and all, including very difficult moments where we have found, like you, Ariette, I knew there was a period with Michael, I was like, I can't move forward. This has to align. I am called to this. And out of love, I'm going to remove myself and I'm going to give you the space. And it's then up to you whether you are willing to face this, because for us to serve this, we must be aligned. And then there's a part of me, this is part of me facing the difficult shadow in me that is very difficult for me to do this, but I have no choice to do this. So then, and it's like amazing, because when we came back into it, we met that place, then it was like take off, because like just take off, like, and everything else was like gone, because the flame was initiated at the next level. So thank you for addressing that for us.
And I congratulate you both. Congratulate you both in feeling the flames of the heart to recognize the importance of what is being done. So there's no right or wrong, good or bad. Sometimes it's just that space is needed to expand deeper and really see the truer lights. Because as Honi said, these tests that we go through they're no small tests. Some of these tests you see and you're like, wow, it could take something so small, and then before you know it, it is extraordinary. Yet in these tests, I get a little excited. I'm kind of like that weird student that like looks at the gift of the tests, to look at what is there to be transformed. What ancestor characteristic are we releasing from that? And as you see me ask a lot, I'm very curious of the beautiful nature when we are in those conflicts, or we are in those challenges and triggers, and how we gracefully.
You love the trigger, Kristen.
I just love to learn. And I love
he loves to know the trigger ones.
But I'm gonna say it very gracefully, even deeper, so it doesn't go direct.
Very gracefully.
Is what tools would you say you've helped each other apply or learn or give in those moments where conflict does arrive? Like, for example, like when Honi, I feel like our signature has been communication. Of course, with all conflict, communication is a level, but she's really helped me expand my communication deeper, because sometimes I want to go run and hide. I want to go to a cave and feel like, okay, she has everything, and the arrows are coming left and right. I'm pinned against the wall. I can't
I
say
just want to
anything.
get to the truth. Like,
and I want to just kind of have a council meeting with myself and every part of my child, teenager, adults, and be like, well, okay, and just bring my emotions back into my heart so I don't feel I'm losing it, because there's just so much intensity. So it's this active gift of understanding and heart feeling from others, their process of when things go and what they've learned, or what tools you beautiful beloveds help see within each other. Like, what tools have you given to each other to help? Oh, wow, here's something that can help me see about myself, because we can't do it alone. And obviously when we come together, there's gifts of the triggers, which I jump to the gift first, which sometimes she doesn't like to see because we're not tackling it. I say, well, look at the gift that's happened. She's like, we can't talk about that yet because And before I know it, I'm like, okay, let's get into a positive space before we can look at the gift. But more or less the tools that each other have helped see of how to maneuver through these wonderful tests that are given.
I think it's going to be difficult for you, I guess, to answer that question, because I think what Ariette does is always having that mirror in front of me, because I'm definitely, if I have the opportunity, I'm diving from it, and so she's very persistent in it and not letting me go with that. And what I recently did is, because I think it can be hard for you. I know it is sometimes hard for you. But a few months, what I did is that I was diving for days and weeks for a specific subject. I don't even recall what kind of discussion we had or what subject it was. But after a few weeks, then she became even more persistent, and she really forced me into the discussion, and I just broke, because I felt so what would be the
Trapped?
trapped a little bit, or unmasked, or whatever, because I couldn't avoid the discussion anymore. So I had to face my own behavior in that case. And I was crying, and I felt so uncomfortable. And then at that moment, I asked her and said, can you please take a picture of me? Because I want to see, I want to be able to recall how I feel at this moment, because in the end, I'm always avoiding, because I'm avoiding pain in a way. But in the end, if it comes to you, the pain is much bigger than just take it as it is, and at the first moment that the communication is there, just go in there, because then the pain is not as big as just waiting, and it builds and then bam, it comes in. So I asked her, please take a picture of me and show me how I feel at this moment. And we still have it. Sometimes she WhatsApps that picture again, say, hey. But that's good, yeah. So I think she's very persistent in that as a response on my diving. I guess that is what really is helping me out, that she's there. Otherwise, I will not really get into a lot of development, so to say.
Thank you, Rob.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you.
It is hard to answer.
And if it helps also to maybe even to give it clarity, is maybe even just the nature of the masculine and the feminine. If there's any gifts from the masculine that has helped with the feminine, even though, and when I say masculine, the consciousness, because we know there's masculine and feminine within both of us, but if there's in the embodiment of the masculine, if that helps just create any more enlightenment toward that.
Yeah, well, actually, that's also, so what he says, there's also a gift in it for me, of course. So, because I need to really, how do you say that? maybe with my whole family, but let's talk about this bond. It teaches me that really everyone has its own pace. And for me, and I'm still figuring out, to be honest, I'm still challenged regularly. For me, it's hard that I can see a lot, also ahead, I can feel a lot, I can, it's just a lot of times it's a knowing. And I have this big mother heart. And I've had to learn that I can't use it, because everyone is allowed to have their own lessons and their own triggers. And yeah, so that's a big one for me. You recognize it?
Oh my gosh, do I heart you, my goddess sister? Do I heart you? And that's a discussion that we have had where it is so, there are times that I tell Michael, it is so hard when you're a seer. You can see in advance, the vision so clear, everything is shown to you. And there's a part of you that's like helpless sitting here. You bring it to the attention. You do every part, and that's part of ours that we have to. Yet, then our part that is being developed is to recognize the timeline, like a time release capsule of these individuals. They have their own time release capsule to be able to become anchored in this, to, let's say, own the gift. And it can't be pushed or shoved or anything like that. Yet from that motherly, there's that part of wanting to really assist, because often I feel what you and I share, because we see it so clear, to avoid the issues and the problems and suffering, or because it's unnecessary. So that there's more joy. If we're more in joy, we don't need to suffer. We know the Christ light. Like, it's just pure joy and ease and flow. It's time. It's just time for this. So why all of these things? And yet there's that part is being able to stay in that breath, that just as we have had our timeline, time release capsule, they too as well. And the only thing we can do is just bring it still to the awareness and then release it. And like you, Ariette, I'm getting better and better. I've at least moved from not getting pissed off anymore, because I'll be pissed off left and right. Like, I'm done. Like why am I not being heard? Like I'm not here to dominate you, control you, but for God's sakes, I love you. Like, why aren't you hearing, But now I'm with Michael. One of the things I've learned, it's new. I've learned, I now find it cute when he does something, he's not listening. I said, I go, little bite. So now I find it cute. It doesn't annoy me anymore. And I feel this is victorious light for me now, So getting there.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful because I feel in the feminine conscious, because there's that intuitive nature that sometimes the masculine is, for better words, catching up. I don't know if you feel it, Ariette, in the speed, because I have a galactic bunny here, and sometimes the speed is so fast that I'm in my old school Mexican surf siesta mode of maybe moving at a pace that's not so, so it's helped me engage and be more direct and take it into action in the masculinity that is here to serve. As well, it's helped my sacred beloved in
not really, because I'm still no. Like, I don't want to slow down.
There's a patience that I feel in stillness. That
I like my galactic speed. I don't want him to.
A beingness that we are embracing. So I feel there's this dance that we're both helping each other meet in a way that really comes together, to say to say it in a grace.
I had actually I had the same, Michael, because I was always telling her, hey, yeah, okay, but you can be 5D for 24 hours a day, and I have the whole day I still have my 3D job, and I have to do all stupid kind of things. So I won't catch up because I do not have the same amount of time in that pool of love and 5D and such kind of things. So I was always making up a lot of excuses why not just move on. And because part of that is, of course, all resistance, excuses, fear or whatever, losing control and such kind of things. So we have a lot of excuses not to run as fast as they do. And especially not listening to them for any good advice, because we are trained to know better,
And it's like, listen, if you ask me anything, be ready, because I am going to answer, and I'm going to answer the fullness of it. If you don't want to know, then don't ask me, because you're going to get like a full version of it, right?
And there's a beloved, and as a sacred masculine, which Ariette, I feel is there's the mother role, there's the cosmic mother within. And I feel for us sacred men.
And the divine mother.
The divine mother, my love.
Yeah.
The divine mother. Well, the divine mother, the cosmic mother. But I feel as a man, I'm still learning how to let go of that voice of my mom, of the telling, the commands, and all of the things that when I'm doing something, like this morning, I'm doing something, and Honi's like, did you send me the picture to Ariette yet? I'm like, and I was like, and I'm doing something.
Because I had said it, and I had said it, and I had said it.
and it always seems like when I'm in the middle of doing something, and I'm so focused, I just want one more second to get my thought about. There comes this reminder, and it almost like makes me cringe because it reminds me of my mom always like, well, did you do this? Did you do this? And sometimes it's just like, can you just email me it? Can you just text message it? Because it's that old pattern and program that's dissolving within myself to release that from my mother, to release that from my grandmother, to release that from the beautiful ancestry that we're helping cleanse and clear so that it doesn't sound like a command or an order or something that's being brought to our attention. So I'm aware that there's certain frequencies and the gift of having a beloved with that divine mother, because the heart is so expansive that they're ready to jump in and help you, but it's also the grace of allowing us to move through what we need to in the time that sometimes can bite your lip and sometimes want to scoot you a little further. So thank you very much for sharing both of that in your rawness and realness, because I feel we all can relate to it, and part of this relating to it brings a sense. I mean, there's no normalcy, but there's a sense of feeling that we can, that there's a resonance, because of divine union. Sometimes we don't speak about these conversations. And a lot of times Honi's like, well, this is not supposed to happen in divine union, or that doesn't supposed to happen in divine union. I'm like, everything is happening in divine union. Like the biggest tests are happening.
Yes. And I love that you have this in your show, because to be quite honest, it's been bothering us during a few years of our relationship, also because some people in the spiritual community told us in a divine union you should both be on the same path. So and it's not the case with us. We have different roles in life, and at the same time we serve each other's soul's path. And so I'm really glad in that sense that you're inviting us to this show, because I feel it's good that people can see. So I have this spiritual practice, and I travel and I do all kinds of things, and he so far has chosen a different path, and we belong together, and it's totally possible.
Yes,
we support each other's path.
Completely.
And so I'm really grateful for that, to be able to bring that forward as well. There's not
Absolutely,
one
because
way.
there isn't like, and that's the thing. I feel like with one of the things that we were guided to put together is to learn about. It's not so much what you do. It's about the journey of a sacred divine union, because there's so much in here, and there again, it is a very sacred experience. And within the sacredness of it, you can only experience the sacredness of it when you are able to encounter the amount you're able to encounter, and then move through and be on the other side of it to experience the profound gifts of it. And it's not for everybody. And you are put in all kinds of position, and it's no cookie cutter with this at all, because every sacred divine union we have recognized comes like, it's an ancient call that you have gone through so many incarnations, and here you are. It is not so much of what you are doing, it's your signature that has come together with all your gifts from all your lifetimes, and then is here to serve. And it is a planetary call, but you each have your own unique expression of it, and then there's your flame that has it. So it's not about like what you do as a job. It's not that at all. And I feel that's one of the part to break that consciousness, that idea of faulty perception. But having said that, like, if we were to ask you, your sacred union has a signature. What is the signature of your union that is of service to humanity? What would you say?
Oh, that's a good one too. What would you say? Maybe we should ask people who went with us on a journey, because I feel it's our heart's joy mostly, and the way we connect to each other and with people. I feel it's mostly that.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I agree on those. Yeah, I agree on that. And I think it's also honoring and trying to inspire people for finding the proper balance between the masculine and feminine. I guess we clearly made a decision when we got married to keep our own family name, but putting the other family name behind my own name. So I am in het Veld with my own name, and
Yeah, I
she's
saw that long name. Okay.
Lufen in het Veld, but we stayed with our own name, both.
Wow.
And what Ariette did, and what I now totally support, is that her daughters have her family name.
Beautiful.
That would be great. If more men would just accept that the kids got the family name from their mother.
Wow.
That would be great, I guess. So, but these are just examples of when we try to find out that there's perfect equality, and also to try to reestablish the right balance between the masculine and the feminine. And I guess that is something that is seen probably by other people as well.
Well,
And
thank you for that.
And it's beautiful, because I feel the gift of when both of you are together is you shine a sacred energy of just happiness and joy in your faces, in your eyes, in your beingness. And I feel that's one of the biggest gifts, as Honi and I see, just when we're together and we're around people. There's an activation of energy of just the presence. And that presence, I feel, is so powerful when there's no intention, there's no motive. We're just playing like children. We're just enjoying the company of each other because we're happy and we're joyful. And I feel there's a simplicity in all of this. It doesn't have to be this, complicated nature. It's like when our hearts are joined and we get to celebrate that joy and love, then all of a sudden it's a beautiful gift for everyone to be in. So thank you for sharing that. Well, I always love love, and I know that this question probably goes back to the first of like what you see about, but there's many things about this, and I say this, but if you were to say if there's one thing you really, really, really love about one another, like what's
Like if you look at
when
each
you look
other
into each other's
what's
eyes,
like the first thing?
if there's something that you're like,
I love that
this melts
question.
my heart. This allows me, and again, no pressure, because again, it's what you feel. It's what you feel. But if there's something that just like, this melts me into my diamond crystalline heart, what would you say about each other that truly invigorates that?
Look at her. Her smile and her joie de vivre, and yeah.
I don't know if Americans do.
I
Do you understand?
I just
They feel it. They feel it.
absolutely love the way she enjoys life to the max. She can celebrate the tiny things, and I can always look in her eyes, and it always makes me happy completely.
Oh.
Beautiful.
I like what she is doing, and I'm so thankful that that she's here. So, and that is always seen in her eyes. Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh.
Yeah, I could answer the same. I could respond in the same way. You know, it's like I said at the beginning. Rob has a kind of lightheartedness that he has brought into his life, into our lives, and it's his soul's gift. And yeah, he's beautiful. He smells good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Send this.
She says that about me too.
Yeah, I do. I always say,
It's so important, isn't it? Yeah. It is so important, the smell of.
It's
so
very,
good.
very, very important.
I always say, I was like, I love the way you smell. It's so good.
Yeah.
Does he smell delicious right now?
Oh yes. And he's always supported me and the girls, you know, and that's really, well, I say always. I know he mentioned an example, but that was just a tiny period in our relationship. And it happens because sometimes you just need to see some dark sides, some shadow sides. So that happens. We're all human, right? But he supports our path. And yeah, that's it's a true gift. It's a true gift. He has made a lot of what I'm doing. He has made it possible for me to do it. So he stayed at home with the girls when I was in Miami, honey.
Yeah.
You know, going through America and doing workshops and sessions, and he was there for the girls. And they were still, how old were they? I don't know, 13, 14, 15. So yeah.
So beautiful. Thank you for answering that. And we love that because we get all giddy about it ourselves, because it is so, because so much is focused again on the work, and we want to feel the other sacred divine unions, because we feel often very lonely, you know. We're like, where are the other ones that are of service, that love? Like, we feel people have forgotten and they don't want to celebrate love because it's been featured in such a different way. And it's like love has been kind of like shadowed in a very superficial way, but the beauty of love and its expression and the celebration of it is so dimmed because it makes people uncomfortable. And when you come to a sacred divine union that is of service, what is such key, it is the power, truly the power and the strength of that love that can see the ugly, can see the good, can see the bad, can see everything. Yes. It's all encompassing and lets you go through it. So you have these, you're able to experience love on every level within this union. and it's truly incredible, like, and gives you the possibility to be you. So one of the questions that I like to ask you is, what is like the strangest part of you that you so easily like let yourself be seen and revealed? Like, it's so strange, wacky, but because of your love in the presence of your beloved, it's allowed to be seen.
Why don't you give an example?
Okay, so I give you an example.
Because it's always difficult to like, because like, wait, I gotta answer that first. How about you answer that first?
Because I have a lot of that, because for so long I was always judged, but with Michael I get to be 100% me. And 100% me, there's this energy. I really feel I'm a goat, you know, and the goat in me, like there's this vibration of goat very present, and there are times that my tongue wants to come out like literally look like a goat, and I want to come like a goat to him, like lick him or something, like very goat-like, like literally, or like jump on him like a goat. And I just love that I can. I just love that I can. It's so wacky. It's so crazy. I just so that's an example.
I've never thought about this, really. Oh gosh. Well, I can dance, and I can do what do I don't know, sing in an awkward way,
or you know what I would say, is there anything that may be deemed as weird? But I like weirds because I think weird is
strange, but with
strange
you it can so fully
like,
be seen.
Like you could be weird in front of the other person, and it's like, oh wow, I can, you know.
You can just, you're allowed to be exactly that expression.
Maybe you can answer it. What do I do? Really, what do I do in front of you which I wouldn't do in front of? I'm not feeling
I don't think you're really holding back to other people. Not anymore, at least.
I used to, yes.
Maybe you used to do that a little bit more. But now, no. Also, if I see you move around in groups, then you're just you. You know, there's not really things that.
I don't jump around like a goat, though.
Yeah. No, I don't go around. You have to say, I don't go around licking people at my workshops. My tongue out. Although that might be inquiry coming.
Do that at home as well.
We have to make this a little more.
Maybe if I know, maybe I can come up with something later on, like it pops up.
Yeah, send us a message if that comes to you, you know, like just if it's just a permission, but it is like literally like your kindergarten. So there are times that I feel like I'm literally like 5 years old with Michael, and then suddenly this thing comes over me and I have to act that like 5-6 year old out, or it could be an animal. Like there are times that there's a lot of animal activity, right? Yeah. Like I feel I'm literally inside a body of a puma, and he's a puma, and I just have to, like, you know, like, but these are like little urges that I'm allowed, because in his presence, I'm just fully allowed to be me. So there's nothing holding back, you know.
I think I know something.
Yes.
That you absolutely have no shame to get into the bed with ice cold feet.
Yeah.
On the hottest place on my body.
I love it.
But just to warm up the feet.
Yeah, I have no shame about that.
I know that so well. I could attest to that, especially the coldest days.
So, and now it's November, so I'm a little bit used to it, but it doesn't really care what season it is. Every evening she seems to be cold feet.
And comfortable. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That is affection, you know. Yeah. She's not going to put it anywhere else on any other warm parts of any other body.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And you?
I don't know.
No. I've never given it a thought.
So maybe more will come now, you know. But Michael, what about you? What about you?
Yeah.
What is about me?
that you're completely allowed to be you? Like
that I'm completely.
the weirdest part of you.
I mean, I do like to, and again, as a loving way, I do like to lovingly, when she said, I do like to like lightly, like a line, like bite, but just kind of like that loving, like,
Yeah, he does. He
like,
does.
like it's like a nibble or like a, you know, nothing like too far out, but like, I just, we jump into our innocence, into our child. So there's like that playfulness.
There's a lot of inner child.
So that playfulness. So sometimes.
Oh, the pillow. Like Sunny, when we get the urge of a pillow and we just run around the apartment and like grab and chase each other with the pillow
or something.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I want to lovingly just tackle her. I just want to go over and just like.
He
just
does
like,
that.
And
right.
like when she's not looking.
Yeah.
And probably it's not nice, but sometimes I like to scare her. Sometimes I love just like stand by there and do something. But I feel like what could be a game is the inner child within each person, and bring that inner child forward with the intention of playfulness and love, without the childlike versus the childish.
Yeah.
So the maturity of the child coming forward, because I would say that, what else? Dancing, maybe? Like, I feel like sometimes when I dance with just me and her, I feel like I can creatively dance more in ways that I wouldn't dance outwardly, because once I see her dancing and moving in such different, beautiful ways, it gives me the ability to be like, wow, I want to dance in ways that it's like, you know, you're in the shower by yourself singing. Like, so you're doing something that just, it doesn't even matter, because we're just both uniting our energies. So that's what I'd probably say right now. Yeah.
Thank you, my love.
Yeah, well, playing we like and dance we like. Yeah.
And now I feel you two are going to go on this love work with each other. Like, how many more weird things we can bring out now?
I take the challenge. Next
year
I will
challenge,
teach you a lot of stories.
Day number one.
I got goats down to the T. I got my goats down. For sure.
That's a good one. Good. Never heard that before.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I guess the last thing I would say is, if when you look at your relationship, or you look at their sacred bond, and others that would have inquiries about their sacred bonds, is there any advice that you would love to share from just your experience? Maybe for those that either are just newly in a divine union, or those that have been in divine union for years and decades, and saying, anything that you would like to share just to help them
from the wisdom of your union you like to pass on.
Well, I like what's in your title. I like it's raw and real.
Yeah.
And I feel that's the most important thing we humans, and especially in a sacred bond, we should do, especially in the higher dimensions.
Yeah.
You know, we can't hide anymore anything, but we need to be raw and real, transparent, especially towards ourselves. So that's what like you, Michael, I like curiosity. I'm so curious. I've been born curious. And that's a childish part, that's a childlike part as well. And when you're curious, you want to see rawness, you want to see realness, because you're investigating constantly. So be raw, be real, dare to show up for yourself. And then, because other ones see you anyway, you know, you think you are masking, but you can't hide. Most people see you, they feel inauthenticity. So be real, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. And don't forget that this mutual journey is all coming from love. You know, sometimes when you bump into challenges in your relationship, you forget that the one next to you is, sometimes you feel like it's more getting the enemy than the friend, you know? But you have to remember that when you're in this together from a point of love, mutual love that you experience, then you do not have to challenge everything on your own. You do it together as well. So do not forget that that love is the guide, the love that you feel for each other, and that even when it's getting difficult, that you and somebody is facing you with some questions that you cannot answer, or that mirror coming up again, it is still all coming from love. So see it as an invitation and not as something which is held against you.
Oh, what a beautiful wisdom. Thank you.
I thank you,
both of you.
brother. I thank you for saying that, because my dream of where we're moving from is being, acting, and choosing from love. And for you to say it as a sacred masculine, because I know there's an old energy where the mental energy wants to think, that wants to do, and the higher mind we honor, but yet the heart is really the palace that we can express. And during the difficult times when we can just feel into our heart and allow that love to come through our heart to diffuse the challenges and the tests, because at the end of the day, love always wins. And there is no winning, it's just love. And that love, when it comes through, then it just is. Yeah. And the more we can express love and be love and choose love and allow love, then we're not doing anymore. We're just being that presence. And that's my dream for a lot of men, to express that and to share that, moving from that kind of old head energy, which reminds me a lot when I get into my head, is to come back into the heart, feel from the heart. And I feel that's one of the biggest tests when we're in that stage of conflict, to remain in the heart.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing how quickly time flies when we are in this? Like, look at that, like incredible. So before we wrap this up, we're just so grateful for your presence, for your essence. We're just so grateful, as we knew we would have such a wonderful show, in your pure authenticity, your transparency, and really your sacred vibration that we feel so deeply. I mean, just so deeply. You're both just such sparkling, like really that crystalline, sparkling diamond light is so just it blasts so easily, and we recognize it and celebrate it fully in its divine expression. And as we wrap this, we'd like to ask you, we're very honored to take part with the 1221 with you. So honored
for the invitation. Thank you.
You get the video over between tomorrow and next day for that. And we'd like to ask you, is there anything coming up with both of you that you are serving others? Do you have any event, anything that's coming up so our audience can learn about and get in touch with you? Anything you'd like to share as we close this?
We don't have an event together planned yet, but we organized and facilitated a mystical Magdalene pilgrimage through Qatarland last September, and that's what we feel we want to do next year again. Maybe to France, Qatarland, maybe Egypt, maybe Glastonbury. So that's what we're really looking forward to. And we're doing sessions together these days. So yeah. Yeah.
But is it in person or is it virtual?
Both.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Yes. And can I add?
Yes.
So you refer to joining Forces of Light.
Yes.
The 20th of December to 21st.
Correct.
So yeah, we're all in it. It'll be a 24-hour global relay to unite in love. So for all people to tap into the heart, feel the joy, and spread it out across the world. So yeah, and he'll be supporting me. You know, otherwise I can work hard, and he's doing he cooks and he does the dishes, and so
Yeah,
we're doing that together as well.
it is that hold in that love. Like we need that.
Yes.
We need that. So
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you so much for that. I feel like one of the things that's so beautiful from this is when we do get to collaborate with each other. Like Michael and I do get to literally work on a client together, and we've been working out with another couple, like in-person session, combining all of our gifts in the session. And we just love it so much. We love working with each other. And I feel that's another gift, because many of our sacred divine union couples, that they collaborate with each other, and there's that joy of just them spending that time together and collaboration. So we get to witness that over and over. And I love that you share that also with our audience, so they see that, yes, because many have had this calling, it will be like this. It is true. That vision is very real. It's not you're just making a fantasy of it. It is being materialized here, and it has great service, and how important it is to honor it and embrace it, and not fall short from it, but continue to hold the vision.
And to see where and how that love expands so much, that opens up the new doors to what we don't see now. And that's the one thing I get super excited, because the love keeps growing and it keeps expanding. Before you know it, our day jobs, our night jobs, it just all dissolves, because the love that we're feeling with each other,
the love is the job.
Is the, you don't work a day in your life when you love it. When you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. And so that loving becomes the service of what you be, because you're just enjoying that presence of like, wow, we're in love. What do? We just continue to honor this, expand it and grow it, and see where explodes into, what illuminates into. So thank you guys for shining that love, for illuminating that love, and for being true, raw, and real in your most authentic form.
And thank you for having us, and thank you for organizing all these kinds of talks, because I think it's very inspiring for a lot of people. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's really great. You're doing a great job in that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear sister, dear brother.
Oh, Ariette, so much love to all of you. So we finished this year, the last guest of 2020 for us, and when we resume back in January, and we have sacred couple, one of our, in January 4th, will return back with Tanya and Kimberly, our sacred sisters that got married, and we're going to learn about their union. So it's so beautiful. We have a whole lot more unions that are of service, and we get to learn about each individual. So thank you for taking part today. Love you so dearly, and so look forward in an actual physical reunion with you, and whatever collaboration. So please do keep us informed. Well, however we can support you, please do let us know.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you again, and thank you all beautiful people who have been watching.
Absolutely. So much love. So much love. Happy, beautiful December and this fabulous light stream. And we'll be joining with you, and we'll be answering all the questions that everybody's posted later. And we'll post all of your information back on this video stream as well. So much love.
Have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank
Totally,
you.
so much love. And hold on for us one moment, please. And let's do this.